What is going on, guys? It's Avery here, aka Romer the Roamer. It's my goal to have 100 full-time Amazon sellers. I help people sell books on Amazon and other ways to sell it on Amazon, retail arbitrage, etc. I've done $1.3 million in book sales this year and a little bit of chlorine, retail arbitrage mixed in there. But enough about me. In this video, we're actually going to talk about one of my students / followers on Instagram. He's got a question about managing employees, and I've had a lot of experience over the last 4 years managing employees. I hired my first employee when I still lived at home, and I used to have, I lived at my parents' house, and I would have her come over and work downstairs in the basement. And I fucked a lot of stuff up from that day on, and moving forward, and dealt with a lot of people, and I know how people are, and I've really learned some things that I think I can help you out with. But to answer your initial question, he's saying they're clocking out at 2:40, or they're done working at 2:40 rather, but he knows they're not clocking out till 3 o'clock. He noticed they're not clocking out till 3 o'clock. He noticed like there was a little discrepancy between how much time they actually worked and how much time they logged. Now, you got to lay down the foundation from day one, and it might be day 23, it might be day 223, and it's okay. You can always relay the foundation down, but it's easier from day one if you know in your brain what you expect out of your employees. But it's okay. You can have a conversation with them, look them in the eye, and be like, hey, look, this is how we're going to do it moving forward. And what I recommend doing is exactly what you voiced to me in the direct message you sent me, and just say, hey, I don't want you guys logging hours for washing hands, blah, blah, blah. Unless like they're doing it like in between, like maybe like they're doing like a 4 or 5 hour shift and they need to. Maybe, it's up to you. You're the boss, you decide. But if I see that they're done working and they're just hanging around and they're still logging hours, I think we both know that that's not right. So, but what's even more important than that, in my opinion, in order to get peak productivity out of your employees, is you have to measure. You cannot manage what you do not measure, and you have to measure KPIs, key performance indicators. And for listing books on Amazon, the number one metric you care about is how many books are you listing per hour. And I would say the second metric you care about is how often are you fucking it up. How often are you listing a brand new book as good, or even worse, how often are you listing a good book as brand new? It's going to piss customers off. You don't want that. And so you do want to, and that's why I have custom SKUs. I'm not going to get too into that. My listing software is coming out soon. Go to lister.com. We'll link it up here. And my listing software, unlike the other listing softwares, it's going to be really geared towards just book sellers starting out, and it's going to allow you to have, there's a lot of cool stuff in it. It's going to allow you to list faster. It's going to allow you to price smarter up front. It's going to really allow you to make more profit. But most importantly, it's going to allow you, not most importantly, but for this video, most importantly, it's going to allow you to see who listed the book, what employee listed the book, what condition did they list it under. All this will be included in the SKU. That way, if anything is screwed up with the book down the road, an Amazon customer says, hey, this book has dog shit all over it. I always like to go to that example. It's never happened to me. Hopefully it never does. But let's say the customer says, there's dog shit all over this book. I hate XYZ, whatever your store name is, and they put an AZ claim in, blah, blah, blah. They're all pissed off. You want to know who listed that book, which employee listed it, so you can go to them and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing this day? And they can say, oh shit, I brought my dog to work and a dog shit on page 23. And you can be like, hey, don't do that again. Or you can fire them, whatever. I know some company, I've read a lot of business books, and I've not implemented something this stringent yet. But some companies, they have like a 3-strike rule. And if one of my employees listed a counterfeit book and then they did it again, I probably would just give them one more shot and be like, hey, look, you do this one more time, you're done. But I'm not at that point. But for certain business models, small mistakes are such a big deal that you can track mistakes. I do recommend tracking mistakes. I know exactly which listers make which mistakes. I know depending if it's Eric or if it's Joanna or if Lisa, whoever, whichever one of my employees is listing or prep centers is listing for me, I know exactly how many errors they make on average because I have all that data in a spreadsheet. It's simple data. It's how many times do they fuck up divided by how many items do they list, and that is the percentage that they screw up. So little things like that. You want to have KPIs. You want to know how many they're listing per hour. When you pay your employees, you want to know, okay, I'm paying them $1,200 for 2 weeks of work or whatever it is, and they listed 1,500 books. Or let's say they listed 1,200 books, which would be, not that many books, but for easy math, that's $1 per book that it cost you on average. Maybe they listed 12,000 books. Okay, now what is that, 10 cents per book? Now you know how much you're paying per book. And so that was revolutionary for me in my book business, was realizing how much am I actually paying per book. Because then I realized I'm actually paying more per book to have in-house employees than I would if I just sent my books to a prep center, because in my business, I have so many steps that you have to do with each book before you list it, because I run a consignment business. And it turned out to be cheaper to use a prep center rather than to have employees. Previously, they were working from home. Found out it was cheaper to use prep centers. So get your cost down. How much does it cost on average per book? How many books is your lister able to process per hour? That's also going to help you know how many books could you list if you got a new source of books, or if you're negotiating with your source and they're like, hey, we could give you double the volume. In your head, okay, so-and-so could do this if they worked overtime, whatever. You got to know though, you got to have your KPIs down. Items listed each week, how many hours worked, items listed per hour. These are all super related. The error rate per lister, how many times are they screwing items up? How many times are they losing items? Little things like that. You can track all of that. That's what I recommend, John. Hopefully this video helped out. I'm going to be talking tonight in Tampa. This video probably won't be published by then, but if you guys are around, look forward to seeing you. And hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't already. Much love. Catch you in the next video. Peace out.